Halo, halo, as usual, एक और super hit book. Always, I think what happens with an Amish book is that you read it and suddenly you get very desperate. Ki, where is the next one?
Not only is it descriptive, it's imaginative, but it's just sheer brilliance.
I wish that there are many more amongst you that will be inspired by today and this evening, and indeed by Amish Tripathi.
He takes on mythology by the core and really, represents us and presents us in a way that we haven't seen before.
The celebrity author, but one of the most influential voices of our times.
It's that kind of a book that could interest my daughter and me at the same time.
Arguably the best-selling Indian author of all time.
You know, I've been going through your new book, Ravan. This is possibly, to my mind, the most fascinating of the books that you've written so far.
What we are seeing today, a publishing phenomenon, nothing less.
No, Amish is India's first literary pop star.
The writer of the fastest and the second fastest selling book series in Indian publishing history. Readers of all genders, communities and backgrounds, from young to old, have loved his books. Critics have said that his books are backed by tremendous research, deep thought, a rooted pride in India and a liberal progressive outlook. It's no wonder that his fan following has reached heights unheard of before for an Indian author. 10 best-selling books, 6 million copies sold, and the journey continues. Adding to his already full cap of feathers, Amish became a diplomat in 2019, taking Indian culture to foreign lands as the director of the Nehru Centre in London. He is also Minister Culture at the Indian High Commission to the UK. And now, in a tryst with the camera, Amish has recently made his debut as a TV documentary host in the highly acclaimed Legends of the Ramayana on Discovery TV. There are many more documentaries to follow. Amish, an author, diplomat, TV documentary host, movie producer, and most importantly, a proud Indian.
एक और super hit book. Always, I think what happens with an Amish book is that you read it and suddenly you get very desperate. Ki, where is the next one?
Not only is it descriptive, it's imaginative, but it's just sheer brilliance.
I wish that there are many more amongst you that will be inspired by today and this evening, and indeed by Amish Tripathi.
He takes on mythology by the core and really, represents us and presents us in a way that we haven't seen before.
The celebrity author, but one of the most influential voices of our times.
It's that kind of a book that could interest my daughter and me at the same time.
Arguably the best-selling Indian author of all time.
You know, I've been going through your new book, Ravan. This is possibly, to my mind, the most fascinating of the books that you've written so far.
What we are seeing today, a publishing phenomenon, nothing less.
No, Amish is India's first literary pop star.
The writer of the fastest and the second fastest selling book series in Indian publishing history. Readers of all genders, communities and backgrounds, from young to old, have loved his books. Critics have said that his books are backed by tremendous research, deep thought, a rooted pride in India and a liberal progressive outlook. It's no wonder that his fan following has reached heights unheard of before for an Indian author. 10 best-selling books, 6 million copies sold, and the journey continues. Adding to his already full cap of feathers, Amish became a diplomat in 2019, taking Indian culture to foreign lands as the director of the Nehru Centre in London. He is also Minister Culture at the Indian High Commission to the UK. And now, in a tryst with the camera, Amish has recently made his debut as a TV documentary host in the highly acclaimed Legends of the Ramayana on Discovery TV. There are many more documentaries to follow. Amish, an author, diplomat, TV documentary host, movie producer, and most importantly, a proud Indian.
usual एक और super hit book. Always, I think what happens with an Amish book is that you read it and suddenly you get very desperate. Ki, where is the next one?
Not only is it descriptive, it's imaginative, but it's just sheer brilliance.
I wish that there are many more amongst you that will be inspired by today and this evening, and indeed by Amish Tripathi.
He takes on mythology by the core and really, represents us and presents us in a way that we haven't seen before.
The celebrity author, but one of the most influential voices of our times.
It's that kind of a book that could interest my daughter and me at the same time.
Arguably the best-selling Indian author of all time.
You know, I've been going through your new book, Ravan. This is possibly, to my mind, the most fascinating of the books that you've written so far.
What we are seeing today, a publishing phenomenon, nothing less.
No, Amish is India's first literary pop star.
The writer of the fastest and the second fastest selling book series in Indian publishing history. Readers of all genders, communities and backgrounds, from young to old, have loved his books. Critics have said that his books are backed by tremendous research, deep thought, a rooted pride in India and a liberal progressive outlook. It's no wonder that his fan following has reached heights unheard of before for an Indian author. 10 best-selling books, 6 million copies sold, and the journey continues. Adding to his already full cap of feathers, Amish became a diplomat in 2019, taking Indian culture to foreign lands as the director of the Nehru Centre in London. He is also Minister Culture at the Indian High Commission to the UK. And now, in a tryst with the camera, Amish has recently made his debut as a TV documentary host in the highly acclaimed Legends of the Ramayana on Discovery TV. There are many more documentaries to follow. Amish, an author, diplomat, TV documentary host, movie producer, and most importantly, a proud Indian.
As usual, एक और super hit book. Always, I think what happens with an Amish book is that you read it and suddenly you get very desperate. Ki, where is the next one?
Not only is it descriptive, it's imaginative, but it's just sheer brilliance.
I wish that there are many more amongst you that will be inspired by today and this evening, and indeed by Amish Tripathi.
He takes on mythology by the core and really, represents us and presents us in a way that we haven't seen before.
Celebrity author, but one of the most influential voices of our times.
It's that kind of a book that could interest my daughter and me at the same time.
Arguably the best-selling Indian author of all time.
You know, I've been going through your new book, Ravan. This is possibly, to my mind, the most fascinating of the books that you've written so far.
What we are seeing today, a publishing phenomenon, nothing less.
No, Amish is India's first literary pop star.
The writer of the fastest and the second fastest selling book series in Indian publishing history. Readers of all genders, communities and backgrounds, from young to old, have loved his books. Critics have said that his books are backed by tremendous research, deep thought, a rooted pride in India and a liberal progressive outlook. It's no wonder that his fan following has reached heights unheard of before for an Indian author. 10 best-selling books, 6 million copies sold, and the journey continues. Adding to his already full cap of feathers, Amish became a diplomat in 2019, taking Indian culture to foreign lands as the director of the Nehru Centre in London. He is also Minister Culture at the Indian High Commission to the UK. And now, in a tryst with the camera, Amish has recently made his debut as a TV documentary host in the highly acclaimed Legends of the Ramayana on Discovery TV. There are many more documentaries to follow. Amish, an author, diplomat, TV documentary host, movie producer, and most importantly, a proud Indian.
As usual, एक और super hit book. Always, I think what happens with an Amish book is that you read it and suddenly you get very desperate. Ki, where is the next one?
Not only is it descriptive, it's imaginative, but it's just sheer brilliance.
I wish that there are many more amongst you that will be inspired by today and this evening, and indeed by Amish Tripathi.
He takes on mythology by the core and really, represents us and presents us in a way that we haven't seen before.
The celebrity author, but one of the most influential voices of our times.
It's that kind of a book that could interest my daughter and me at the same time.
Arguably the best-selling Indian author of all time.
I've been going through your new book, Ravan. This is possibly, to my mind, the most fascinating of the books that you've written so far.
What we are seeing today, a publishing phenomenon, nothing less.
No, Amish is India's first literary pop star.
The writer of the fastest and the second fastest selling book series in Indian publishing history. Readers of all genders, communities and backgrounds, from young to old, have loved his books. Critics have said that his books are backed by tremendous research, deep thought, a rooted pride in India and a liberal progressive outlook. It's no wonder that his fan following has reached heights unheard of before for an Indian author. 10 best-selling books, 6 million copies sold, and the journey continues. Adding to his already full cap of feathers, Amish became a diplomat in 2019, taking Indian culture to foreign lands as the director of the Nehru Centre in London. He is also Minister Culture at the Indian High Commission to the UK. And now, in a tryst with the camera, Amish has recently made his debut as a TV documentary host in the highly acclaimed Legends of the Ramayana on Discovery TV. There are many more documentaries to follow. Amish, an author, diplomat, TV documentary host, movie producer, and most importantly, a proud Indian.
As usual, एक और super hit book. Always, I think what happens with an Amish book is that you read it and suddenly you get very desperate. Ki, where is the next one?
Not only is it descriptive, it's imaginative, but it's just sheer brilliance.
I wish that there are many more amongst you that will be inspired by today and this evening, and indeed by Amish Tripathi.
He takes on mythology by the core and really, represents us and presents us in a way that we haven't seen before.
The celebrity author, but one of the most influential voices of our times.
It's that kind of a book that could interest my daughter and me at the same time.
Arguably the best-selling Indian author of all time.
You know, I've been going through your new book, Ravan. This is possibly, to my mind, the most fascinating of the books that you've written so far.
What we are seeing today, a publishing phenomenon, nothing less.
No, Amish is India's first literary pop star.
The writer of the fastest and the second fastest selling book series in Indian publishing history. Readers of all genders, communities and backgrounds, from young to old, have loved his books. Critics have said that his books are backed by tremendous research, deep thought, a rooted pride in India and a liberal progressive outlook. It's no wonder that his fan following has reached heights unheard of before for an Indian author. 10 best-selling books, 6 million copies sold, and the journey continues. Adding to his already full cap of feathers, Amish became a diplomat in 2019, taking Indian culture to foreign lands as the director of the Nehru Centre in London. He is also Minister Culture at the Indian High Commission to the UK. And now, in a tryst with the camera, Amish has recently made his debut as a TV documentary host in the highly acclaimed Legends of the Ramayana on Discovery TV. There are many more documentaries to follow. Amish, an author, diplomat, TV documentary host, movie producer, and most importantly, a proud Indian.
हाँ कन्वे आप एक बार बोल दीजिए इंग्लिश इंट्रोडक्शन से पहले अभी बोलूँगा अभी Hello. Greetings. Welcome to everybody. I am Meena Singh, the project head with Ahmedabad Book Club. Amish will be joining us shortly. Before that, जिन लोगों ने किताब नहीं ली है, क्रॉसवर्ड में जाहिर है, तो आप टोकन ले लीजिए. बाद में शायद बहुत भीड़ हो जाएगी. टोकन ले लेना, अभी तो खरीदने में आपको आसानी रहेगी. There's still some time. Books पीछे हैं. Books already there, तो आप टोकन ले लीजिए जिनको लेनी है, ताकि आपको बाद में तकलीफ ना हो. Thank you.
I'm just standing.
नहीं युवराज जी को अपने को बोलते नहीं है इसके लिए. युवराज जी सब रोज अनाउंसमेंट करते हैं. हाँ तो बुला लेना युवराज जी. इधर ही आते. छः में अंदर
Greetings. The moment that we all have been waiting for. Yes, he is here. The writer of Meluha, Ishkvayu, Lanka. तो अभी बात करेंगे. I am Meena Singh, the project head with Ahmedabad Book Club. Ahmedabad Book Club, you're the place for books, reviews, discussions, book launch, and anything connected with literature. We are global now, spread everywhere. A small initiative started by Priyanshi Patel and Khurshid Ravji for all the bibliophiles with the intention of inculcating the habit of reading, especially in the youngsters in the digital world today. We are hosting, yes, Amish Tripathi with the crossword, the place for your books, whatever you want, any genre. Partnered with HarperCollins, Taj, for the launch and discussion of The War of Lanka. Okay, I'll leave my glasses there. My glasses inside. No, my Not that Amish Tripathi needs any introduction. All his fans know, right from his first book, The Immortals of Meluha, such a beautiful blend of mythology and fiction, which got us hooked to people believing that's actually the real story of Mahadev. Amish Paple, he's a diplomat, he's an author, he's an IM graduate, we all know that. He published his first book in 2010 and has written 10 books, both fiction and non-fiction till date, including the recently released The War of Lanka. His books have sold 6 million copies and has been translated into 20 languages. Wow. Critics have said that his books are backed by tremendous research, deep thought, a rooted pride in India, and a liberal, progressive outlook. The Week magazine acknowledged Amish as the fastest selling author in Indian publishing history. Forbes India regularly ranked him among the top 100 most influential celebrities in India. Not surprised. Amish was also selected as an Eisenhower Fellow, a prestigious American program for outstanding leaders from around the world, in 2014. He won the 21st Century Icon Award in United Kingdom in 2021 and the Golden Book Award for his novel Suhail Dev in 2022. He is also the host for TV documentaries, including the Discovery TV's highly acclaimed Legends of the Ramayana with Amish. He has taken over as the Minister of Culture at the Indian High Commission in the United Kingdom and the Director of Nehru Center in London in October 2019. Amish is an alumnus of the prestigious Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta. He was given the Distinguished Alumnus Award by IIM in 2017. He has worked for 14 years in the financial service industries before turning to full-time writing. And we all have benefited. May he keep on writing and keep on intriguing us. Amish Tripathi.
Hi, my name is RJ Pooja. I'm just a second. So, actually, હું backstage હતી અમિશની સાથે and he was saying કે આટલા બધા ઠંડા ઠંડા લોકો હોય ને તો મને બહાર આવવાની મજા ના આવે. So, I think આપણે એમને થોડું cheer કરવું પડશે. Let's welcome Amish Tripathi.
A very, very warm welcome from everyone, especially from Ahmedabad Book Club. in conversation with RJ Pooja. We'll start. I would like to call Monica, the Vice President of Ahmedabad Book Club, to felicitate, and Nikita, the CEO of Karma Foundation, to felicitate Amish and Pooja.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome from Crossword and HarperCollins. What a lovely weekend ending to see a lot of faces over here. I hope everyone have picked their books, and we are very excited to host you. Before starting up the event, we would like to welcome Amish by a very flowers and a fresh thing to start with. Welcome, Amish. So before hearing it from the author and starting the event, I think we should start with unveiling the book cover. You guys have seen it, but let's do it as a ritual. So please go ahead. Yes, yes. Yes.
Hi everyone, કેમ છો અમદાવાદ? અમદાવાદ, કેમ છો અમદાવાદ?
અમદાવાદ, yes. બહુ મજામાં, and we are so happy and glad that
હું પણ બહુ મજામાં.
अरे वाह, क्या बात है, जोरदार तालियों भाई. आप इतना गुजराती सीख के आए थे या यहाँ पे आके सीखे?
શું છે સારું છે બસ ઉતરા માલુમ હે.
અને અમદાવાદ આખું મારું છે.
That's a good line. Okay, I'll remember that. What does it mean? मतलब पूरा
The whole of Ahmedabad is mine.
मेरा है.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. શું છે સારું છે?
અમદાવાદ આખું મારું છે.
અમદાવાદ આખું મારું છે.
Yes, absolutely.
This is a bit like in Marathi we say Akha. Akha Mumbai.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nice, okay.
So Akhu is that Akha, and Ahmedabad Akhu Marucha is mine. So amazing. I'm so happy to have all of you here. My name is RJ Pooja, as introduced by teammates here. And of course, we know Amish, he's here. And ઘણા બધા લોકો અહીંયા જોઈને એટલો બધો આનંદ થાય છે that people are so huge fan of him. મને સવારથી ઘણા બધા calls આવી રહેલા, ગઈકાલથી ઘણા બધા calls આવી રહેલા that, you know, we really want to meet him in person. We want to see him. We want to get our book signed by the Amish Tripathi. કારણ કે એવો મોકો આપણને ક્યાં મળે કે અમીશ આપણા ગામમાં હોય અને આપણે એમની સાથે રૂબરૂ મળ્યા હોઈએ એવી આપણને લાગણી આવે. So let's begin with our conversation. सबसे पहले जो War of Lanka, the book which we just unveiled, it is already with us. What can we expect from this book?
How many have started reading the book already? Good number.
Wow, good number.
So, but it's not the majority. So the rest of you, I'm assuming you're going to start reading today. If not, shame on you guys. So I'll try my best not to give spoilers, but this is essentially the fourth book of the Ramchandra series. The first three books, as I'm sure you're aware, were in a multi-linear narrative. which means parallel narratives giving the backstories of the main characters. So the first book, Ram, Scion of Ikshvaku, was from the birth of Lord Ram to the kidnapping of goddess Sita. Sita, warrior of Mithila, from her birth to her kidnapping. Ravan, enemy of Aryavarta, from his birth to the time he kidnaps goddess Sita. And the fourth book is the common narrative onwards from the kidnapping of goddess Sita up to the death of Ravan and the return. It's not a surprise, Ravan will die, obviously. That is not a spoiler. Lord Ram and goddess Sita will return to Ayodhya, and the first Diwali will be celebrated. That's what will happen in the fourth book. It was a slightly complex narrative style, but I think my readers like complex. They are on average more intelligent. They like complex things. But I know I'm never going to try multilinear narrative ever again. It was damn complex to write. So I don't think I will do that ever again.
Okay.
But War of Lanka is the common narrative. The title itself says war. More than half of the book is the war, of course. But in my typical style, it will have philosophies in there, emotions, love, drama, grief, rage, anger, all the good stuff of life.
Amazing, and we are really looking forward to that. अच्छा, एक सवाल जो मुझे अभी जहन में आ रहा है, and when I was listening to you, we know Ramayana. You said that Ravan is going to die, and there is no spoiler in that. So Ramayana हमने बचपन से लगभग हजारों बार सुनी होगी, बहुत जगह पे देखी होगी, अलग-अलग तरीके से देखी होगी. फिर भी जब भी हम इसके पास वापस जाते हैं, with different narratives, with different storytellers, from different storytellers, हमेशा वो हमें उतनी ही इंटरेस्टिंग क्यों लगती है जितनी पहली बार में लगी थी? What do you think about this?
Very good question. I'd heard this wonderful line once that no Indian, regardless of religion, caste, region they are from, no Indian hears the Ramayana for the first time.
Right.
We are born with it. Wow. And if you think about it, that we are the only pre-Bronze Age culture that is still alive. Pre-Bronze Age matlab minimum 5,000 years old. Minimum.
Right.
So there are other cultures that began civilization with us. Egypt or Mesopotamia, but they're all dead. They're museum pieces. Today's Egyptians are not really carrying on the traditions of the pharaohs, right? In fact, they don't. I've traveled to Egypt. Most Egyptians, modern Egyptians don't even know what the name of their country was according to their ancestors. It obviously wasn't Egypt. Oh. Egypt is a derivation of a Greek word called Aegyptos, right? What the ancient Greeks called themselves was Chem. Okay. That was their term for themselves. I've met just one or two Egyptians who actually knew that. Can you imagine?
Wow.
They don't know the name of their own ancestors, right? Do we know what our ancestors called our land?
Hindustan.
What?
Bharat.
Yes, applause for everyone. That was the term used thousands of years ago. It was the term used in Vishnu Puran. Uttaram yat samudrasya himadrash chaiva dakshinam varsham tada bharatam nama bharti yatra santati. North of the ocean, south of the Himalaya, lies the nation called Bharat, and there live the descendants of Bharat. This was written minimum 2,500 years ago, probably a lot earlier. We still call our land Bharat today. We still, even India is a derivation of Indus, which is a derivation of Sindhu, which is our name, right? We still chant hymns that were there that were composed 8,000 years ago.
Right.
But we also add in things of the new, right? So in the Mahabharata, for example, all of you know these immortal dialogues like Bhrata Shri, Shan, Gadadhari, Bhim. Everyone knows the dialogues. Who wrote these beautiful dialogues? Does anyone know? Who is that? Applause for him. He's right. Dr. Rahim Masoom Raza wrote these immortal lines, and they are etched in our consciousness, right? Now think about it. A devout Muslim wrote these wonderful lines in the Mahabharata, which have become etched in the minds of Indians for our understanding of the Mahabharata today. What is the point I'm trying to make? The Ramayana or the Mahabharata, the stories are thousands and thousands of years old. They remain alive because we are never tired of listening to them. Why? Because we keep interpreting them again and again. We keep the soul of the old, but add something new repeatedly. So most modern Indians believe that the Ramayana has Lakshman Rekha in it. Anyone disagrees? Huh? Sorry? Applause for her. She's right. In the original Valmiki Ramayana, Lakshman Rekha is actually not there. So if you think about it, what happened essentially? The soul of the old was there. Sometime in the 16th century, some say maybe 1,000 years ago, in the time of Kritibhashi Ramayana, this thing was added, which added in something of the new for that era, right? The point I'm trying to make is we keep the soul of the old, keep adding in something of the new, so the story always remains alive, right? And that is the strength of us Indians, that we are never tired of hearing these stories because we always hear them in a slightly new way.
Right.
The soul is old, we add in something of the new.
Right, amazing. अच्छा, ये रामचंद्र सीरीज जो है, this is the fourth book of रामचंद्र series. The first book is Ram, then Sita, then Ravan, and now Lanka. आपके हिसाब से राम, सीता और रावण, इन तीनों के अलावा which one is the most important character of रामायण जो कि नहीं होता, तो शायद रामायण इस तरीके से नहीं होती जिस तरीके से है.
Many, of course, Lord Hanuman, then Lord Lakshman,
right.
Of course, Kumbhakarna, Lord Bharat. There are so many important characters, but the three characters, the primary characters in the story are Lord Ram, Goddess Sita, and Ravan.
Right. So, जब इन books के बारे में बात करते हैं, where do you find all this?
नींबू पानी कुछ मिल सकता है, कुछ something? हाँ. Sorry, this is the 5th event I'm doing in the day. And I just flew in this morning, तो थोड़ा tiredness है. तो
और हमें उनके लिए बहुत ज़्यादा cheer up करना चाहिए क्योंकि फिर भी उनका energy वही है जो पहले event में था. So that's amazing. हमेशा जैसे हम अभी backstage भी बात कर रहे थे that with your books and with this mythology, you also put your philosophy in your writing. So वो कहाँ से आती है? मतलब what is the source of that thought or all those thoughts?
The beauty of Indians is every Indian is a philosopher. You find among the most interesting philosophies often in India from taxi drivers. I'm not joking. Right? And think of a small example. If you go to China, वहाँ भी piracy होती है. Okay? But China traffic signal में क्या मिलता है? Movie CDs and music CDs.
Right.
हमारे इंडिया में क्या मिलता है traffic signal पे? Books. It says something about what we hanker for. Pirated नहीं बिकना चाहिए. Okay? I've had at traffic signals people have come and sold my own book to me. मैंने एक दो बार बोला भी है यार मेरी किताब है. तुम दिखते हो कि तुम ये लिख सकते हो. You should be older. हिंदी में. तो but the point is it shows the attitude of what Indians look at. We are a philosophical race. We are on average, we think about issues, which also makes us a very complicated race. Working with Indians, managing Indians is in many ways a very complicated process.
Right.
And which is why when many foreigners come out here, they don't know how to handle us.
Right.
For example, आप किसी के घर में जा रहे हो, तो it is like उसे कुछ ना कुछ तो खिलाना है. Okay? And these are things which foreigners find strange, right?
Correct.
जैसे अगर आप ये बोलते हो तो ये yes है कि no है, only an Indian can tell you.
Right.
Right? Our philosophical approach makes things a little complicated, but makes our country that much more rich and makes us capable of handling the ups and downs of life. Who escapes grief? No one escapes grief.
Correct.
Right? But if you have a strong family and you have a sense of philosophy, then you don't fall apart when grief hits you. So I think most of us Indians are intuitively philosophical, and perhaps that's why my books sell in good numbers in Indian language, because we enjoy it. We like talking about philosophy and then applying it in our lives.
Correct. Out of all the 4 books, if I ask you which one is your...
नींबू पानी नहीं है तो कॉफी भी चलेगा. हाँ, thank you. Sir.
So I was asking, out of all the 4 books of Ramchandra series, which one is your personal favorite?
That's like asking a parent which child is his favorite.
तो ये पूछ लेते हैं.
Wrong question rejected. No answer.
कौन से प्रोसेस में, कौन सी बुक लिखने के प्रोसेस में आपको सबसे ज्यादा मजा आया?
मजा नहीं, सबसे ज्यादा तकलीफ हुई रावण में.
अच्छा, okay. And how?
Because it's a very dark book. It's perhaps, and most readers have told me, it's perhaps the darkest book I've ever written, even darker than War of Lanka. Ravan himself is a very dark character, and writers will tell you that we're exploring a certain subject, it impacts us. I also happen to be, I've had a career has gone very well in the last 7-8 years, but I've had personal life में काफी tragedies हुए in the last 7-8 years. होते रहते हैं. People go through, I had my share of grief, a lot of family tragedies. We lost a lot of people very dear to me. And when I was writing, Ravan was perhaps the worst phase of that. So I was very angry with life. And then writing Ravan, I guess, brought it out even more. There are some who think that actually that writing something can be cathartic for the artist, not really actually you drown even more in it. So maybe Ravan was the most difficult book to write.
So,
मजा नहीं आया लेकिन difficulty बहुत हुई.
But हमें बहुत मजा आया वो पढ़ने में, and I'm sure people here would agree with me, right? Yeah. So it has happened with me that while reading your book, मतलब मैं जिस chapter पे होती हूँ या जहाँ पे छोड़ के सो जाती हूँ, I kind of get dreams of what I have read, और वो बहुत strong होते हैं. So I'm sure while you thinking about it or while
ये ऐसा है कि war पढ़ते समय अगर आप सो गई, and then if you have your husband or someone, don't start beating him in your dream.
Luckily that has not happened yet, but my question was that has that ever happened with you that your writing or maybe that process grows on you, और वो आपके behavior में दिखता है that you said that Ravan was really difficult for me. So you have to become that character, or at least you have to understand the nuances of the character when you're writing that. So does that affect your own personality ever?
Characters obviously impact me. I won't say they impact my character, but they impact my mood. So for example, when I was writing Shiva trilogy, Oth the Vayu Putras, when goddess Sita died, I was devastated for 2-3 days. Obviously that impacted me very deeply. Because you have to realize, for me, these characters are very real. In fact, more real than this world. For me, the way I write, it is like there's a parallel universe. I open the laptop, I get to enter that universe, and I record what I see. That's how it comes to me. And in many ways, so I can actually see it like I see you guys, and I describe what I see. And
this is interesting.
In many ways, that world is more real than this world, because in that world, I can hear the thoughts. I can feel their emotions.
Wow.
Which is why I love writing so much. I mean, it's a real pleasure. Right? It's spiritual in some ways. So obviously I get impacted by all that I see.
Amazing. अच्छा, जैसे मैंने पीछे भी आपसे पूछा था, I want to ask you here again that I'm sure અહીંયા જેટલા પણ લોકો બેઠા છે એ બધાએ The Legends of Ramayana by Amish જોયું હશે, right? Discovery Plus પર. You all must have seen it. So while you were taking that journey, especially since we are right now talking about Lanka.
જોવાનુંમાં મજા નહીં.
જોવામાં બહુ મજા આવી.
જોવાનામાં બહુ મજા આવી. Legends of the Ramayana.
बहु मजा आवी. So what was going on in your mind while you were taking that journey, like the actual spots where we believe that all these things have happened?
The thing that stunned me the most, because see, my knowledge of our scriptures is usually from all that I've read and all that I've heard from my family. I've traveled to some of the places, I've prayed at some of the places, but I haven't traveled to many of them, So, for example, I'd never been to Chitrakoot.
Okay.
And Lord Ram had spent, and Goddess Sita and Lord Lakshman had spent 11 years out there.
Right.
And that's where this journey was really amazing, because I was essentially the host, right, for this show.
Right.
So I traveled with them.
Yeah.
And Valmiki ji had said that there's an underground river in Chitrakoot. And I'm sure, like all of us out here, even I thought, underground river, I don't know. I believe in the Ramayana, but underground river, I'm not sure. Boss, there is an underground river there in Chitrakoot.
Yeah.
We saw it, a geologist had gone and studied it in a cavern, we shot out there.
Right.
So many of the things that are described out there, these aren't taught to us. I don't know, our education system really needs to be decolonized.
Correct.
Why aren't these things taught to us?
Correct.
And it felt so special going to those places. After a few days, we started and it was a Discovery TV program, so they have good budgets. It was like a mini film crew, some 20-25 people. They had drone cameras and 5 cameras, God knows what not.
Right.
And to directors, etc. And after a few days, it started hitting us ki, yaar, we are walking on the path that Lord Ram would have walked on
Right.
thousands of years ago.
Right.
And that actually started impacting all of us.
Wow.
We started feeling very special. And the crew was largely a young crew, like many of the people out here, in jeans, t-shirt, all religions, you know, Hindus, Christians, Muslims, all religions. And by the third, fourth day, we would end the day with Jai Shri Ram. You know? And it was actually started impacting all of us. And by the end, I mean, I think all of us were a very tight-knit group. And it's a bit like, you know, you're walking on the path of your ancestors and you feel a very deep connect.
Correct.
You know, like you're connected to your past once again.
Correct.
Difficult to describe, but just feels so special.
And I'm sure you must be feeling so proud that, you know, you could actually take a walk on the same route where Lord Ram once
Would have walked, yeah, once upon.
Yeah.
It feels so special. Yeah, we went to, how many have been to Hampi in Karnataka? Yeah, okay, reasonable number, put your hands down. Now, from all the people who raised your hands, how many of you know Hampi is actually Kishkinda? Before watching the Discovery TV series. Huh? Yeah, you know, right? So many people, yeah, don't know. And that was actually ancient Kishkinda. And the Vijayanagar Empire, the Raya emperors were aware of it.
Right.
And they used to record it. Why aren't these things taught to us?
Correct.
You
It
know?
should be taught to us.
Yeah, and you know, the Raya emperors saw themselves as inheritors of Lord Ram's way. Because they said that we are protectors of the Kishkinda, heritage.
Correct.
It shows like the tremendous continuity in our culture. We aren't taught any of this.
Correct.
And this is there in their temples, all that. I mean, we really need to decolonize our education system.
Absolutely, which is happening slowly and gradually, and we are glad about it. So, quickly wrapping up this conversation, we'll take 3 to 4 questions from the audience, and we will, they will be selected questions. I know you have.
Thank you. Thank you.
Acha, okay. Can we have a mic over there?
Thank you.
आपके नाम से शुरू करना और बहुत क्रिस्प रखना प्लीज.
हेलो सर, माय क्वेश्चन इज, आपने 2 चीज़ कही, मैं उसी को पॉइंट आउट करूंगा. एक्चुअली मैं बहुत बड़ा फैन हूं आपका. आपने एक चीज़ कही कॉलोनियल माइंडसेट
जी,
और स्टार्टिंग में आपने एक शब्द कहा था लॉर्ड राम गॉडेस सीता. मेरा क्वेश्चन बहुत सीधा सा है कि हम क्यों नहीं गॉड राम यूज करते हैं? वाई ऑलवेज वी यूज लॉर्ड राम, लॉर्ड कृष्णा, लॉर्ड विष्णु? हम भगवान भी कह सकते हैं और गॉड भी कह सकते हैं, ये लॉर्ड क्यों?
अच्छा सवाल है. लॉर्ड, देखिए, जब आप किसी भाषा का अनुवाद करेंगे, क्योंकि हम लोग हिंदी में प्रभु श्री राम कहते हैं,
yes,
या प्रभु कृष्ण कहते हैं, प्रभु का
भगवान और गॉड.
प्रभु का आप अनुवाद करेंगे तो वो बन जाता है लॉर्ड. अगर आप भगवान राम का अनुवाद करेंगे तो गॉड राम बन जाता है. तो इसमें देखिए, हम लोग प्रभु श्री राम बोलते हैं कि नहीं? तो प्रभु का अगर आप अनुवाद करेंगे तो लॉर्ड होता है अंग्रेजी में. तो मैं एक्चुअली अगर हिंदी से अनुवाद कर रहा हूँ अंग्रेजी में, तो उसी शब्द का अनुवाद कर रहा हूँ. हाँ हाँ, ओके, ठीक है, चलिए आगे से भगवान राम और देवी सीता. चलिए.
Okay, let's take one question from here.
जी.
Everyone says that no man walked like Ram on earth, like he's a perfect man. But why there was this post the war? I don't know if you have addressed this in the book or not, but there was this.
Hold it to
Sita was.
I've understood your question. How he treated goddess Sita
was not right.
Yeah. Because he's known as Maryada Purushottam.
Correct. देखिए, one of the things I've always said कि अभी जो हिंदी की जो चर्चा हो रही थी, जो वार्ता हो रही थी हिंदी में, मेरा हरदम ये मानना है कि हम सबको कम से कम 2 भाषाएं एकदम ठीक से जाननी चाहिए, कम से कम, क्योंकि फिर अनुवाद में गलतियां नहीं आ जाती हैं. तो many use the term perfect man as the translation for मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम. अभी जो हिंदी जानते हैं कि जो पुरुषोत्तम शब्द है उसका अनुवाद परफेक्ट मैन है, लेकिन उसके साथ अगर मर्यादा जोड़ दिया जाए, इफ यू से मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम, then what is the translation? Maryada Purushottam means the ideal follower of laws. That's what it means, right? Because Maryada means what? Honor, traditions, laws. So Maryada Purushottam means, excuse me, the ideal follower of laws, right? जैसे कृष्ण भगवान को लीला पुरुषोत्तम भी कहते हैं या पूर्ण पुरुषोत्तम भी कहते हैं. तो there are various archetypes like this. So from Lord Ram we learn about the life of an ideal follower of laws.
Correct.
I'd written an article on this in 2013 end or 2014 end, early. You can Google it in Hindustan Times. So what is the life of an ideal follower of laws? In summary, such a person or such a god or such a leader is very good for the society that they lead. But such a god or such a leader or such a person has a lot of challenges in their personal life. And if you think about it, in the ideal follower of laws, God Ram or Lord Ram is not the only one, right? There are others who followed this path as well. Think of Gautam Buddha, okay? He set up a way of life which helped hundreds of millions of people to this day, right? But what was his family life like? Do you all know?
He left his family.
He left his wife Yashodrama. He left his son Rahul. Today we know the meaning of the word Rahul, of the name Rahul, as the son of Buddha. What was the meaning of the name Rahul when Gautam Buddha was still Siddharth Gautam? Do you know what is the meaning? Huh? Bandhan. You know the fetters that you tie? That's what he thought of his own son. Correct? Think of another ideal follower of laws, Mahatma, Raja Harishchandra, another example. Think of Raja Harishchandra's life also everyone knows. Think of another ideal follower of laws like Mahatma Gandhi.
His family life.
Very good for the country.
Correct.
We all know the challenges in his family life.
Yeah.
So this is like a role model. Okay, and then we learn that if there's a role model like this, what are the benefits? What are the challenges? We have another role model as well among leaders called the Dhritarashtra model, Putra Moh, right? Very good father. As a leader of the country, you can have questions. Now if you think about it, this model impacts Indians to this day. Think about the leaders we tend to like. And I'm not just talking about one leader, I'm talking about female leaders across different states. Think of, leaders we tend to vote for, leaders who become the most powerful. Do you notice? We tend to go for leaders who are single, which is very different from how Western countries are. Right. Leaders who are single, who don't have a family, who are focused only on the country. Do you notice we tend to, I call that the Ram obsession that all of us Indians have. In the West, among the things I've seen is most Western voters, they want to vote for a leader, I've heard this line.
Who has family.
Yeah, and who they can have a beer with, which makes no sense to me as an Indian. Why do I want to have a beer with my leader? Right? But Westerners want that. They want to see a family, they want to see a dog, we don't look for that. Okay, now, this is the model that exists for Lord Ram. So if we are the praja of such a leader, we will love them because they sacrifice their family for us. If we are the family of such a leader, can we complain? Perhaps yes.
Yeah.
Right? So there is no judgment in this. It's just, this is the model that Lord Ram followed. There's a model that Dhritarashtra ji followed. There's no judgment in the Indian way. It's just there are different models, that's all. If you see it from this perspective, then what would you think of Lord Ram? I'm very clear. I respect him tremendously. I say with pride, Jai Shri Ram. Because, right?
I have earned that top fan badge from you on Friday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks to you. My name is Omkar Palsule.
Hi, Omkar.
Yeah. And my question is that शिवा ट्रायोलॉजी में हमने देखा कि आपने जो भी लिखा है शिवा ट्रायोलॉजी या स्काइन ऑफ इक्ष्वाकु, इट इज़ ऑल साइंटिफिक एंड लॉजिकल देखा जाए तो. टुडे इन मॉडर्न साइंस एक कभी भी हमने कहीं पे भी देखा नहीं. आज बहुत सारा ट्रांसप्लांट्स हो रहा है, मगर कहीं पे भी हमने नहीं देखा किसी का सिर काट के वहाँ पे हाथी का सिर लगा है. राइट? सो गणेश जी फॉर एग्जांपल, सो आपने वो बहुत साइंटिफिकली समझा है कि नागाज, ही वॉज अ नागा. Why do you call this series as fiction?
देखिए ऐसा है कि मेरा नज़रिया ऐसा है कि जो भी मैं कहानी लिखता हूँ एक थ्रेड ऑफ रैशनैलिटी, थ्रेड ऑफ साइंटिफिक, जो एक वैज्ञानिक रूप में मैं लिखता हूँ. लेकिन क्या मैं दावा कर सकता हूँ कि यही सत्य है? क्या मैं साबित कर सकता हूँ? शायद नहीं, क्योंकि मैं तो कहानी लिख रहा हूँ. जैसे मैं मैंने राम सेतु के बारे में भी लिखा है इसमें, और मैंने कहा है कि किस तरह राम सेतु की रचना की गई थी, किस तरह उसे बनाया गया. और मैंने कहा है कि शत्रुघ्न जी ने बनाया गया, उनका गुरुकुल नाम नल था, तो वही एक क्लू था. लेकिन क्या मैं साबित कर सकता हूँ कि राम सेतु इसी तरह बना था? नहीं. मैं ये कह सकता हूँ कि शायद मेरा नज़रिया है कि अगर एक वैज्ञानिक नज़रिए से देखें तो शायद इस तरह बनाया गया था. तो इसीलिए ये सही नहीं होगा कि मैं कहूँ कि यही सच है. मैं शायद ये कह सकता हूँ कि ये मेरा सच है. अगर सिर्फ मेरा सच है तो भाई लीगल रूप तो यही होगा कि मैं कहूँ कि ये काल्पनिक है. अब पूर्ण सत्य क्या है वो तो सिर्फ शिव भगवान ही जानते हैं. तो इसलिए शायद मैं काल्पनिक लिखता हूँ.
Nice. One last question. I think we will take it from this side because we have taken only one question from this side. अरे બધા સવાલો important જ છે. Okay.
Hello. Sir, my name is Ranjit here. My question was when ma'am used that word mythology. Now, mythology is a very, it's been a very intriguing word which has got, enshrined into our history. Even Ramayana, Mahabharata, everything is our history. What can we do now to remove this word out of our literatures, our books, so that people start recognizing, that Western world start recognizing it as our history? Because it's being, since my childhood, my studies, I always heard as Ramayana and Mahabharata as the mythology.
No, in that sense you are right. Look, there are various the first word is the word mythology itself. That is something that the British told us, and we have a certain interpretation of it. But the root of the word mythology is actually a Greek word called mythos, so it's not the equivalent of mithya. हिंदी में जो मिथ्या बोलते हैं उसका मतलब है असत्य, correct? But the English word mythology, the root is a Greek word called mythos. That means a story which hides the philosophical truth. Okay. So it is when you're looking at a story as philosophy. But you're right that the word itself has been used by British colonialists to tell us that our beliefs are mythology, their beliefs are real. Yes, that is a strategy that they have tried. The British told us many things which sadly we continue to believe today, till today. So for example, the British told us that India didn't exist as a nation, and that that they created it for us, which is of course a load of nonsense. I just quoted the Vishnu Puran to you 2500 years ago. Our ancestors had a very clear idea of what India is. The British didn't create India, our ancestors created India. The British told us that Indians are an oral culture, we never wrote, and that they taught us how to keep records. How many of you believe that nonsense? Huh? Yeah? Now let me tell you some facts, because handwritten manuscripts, and before the invention of the printing press, you had handwritten manuscripts, right? The number of Greek handwritten manuscripts that survive till today is between 20 to 30,000. That's a very good number. It shows the knowledge production, and Greece is the mother culture of Europe. The number of Sanskrit handwritten manuscripts that survive till today, as tabulated by the National Mission of Manuscripts, is 3 million. Wow. 3 million. That is more than the rest of the ancient world combined, right? So our ancestors wrote a hell of a lot. The British told us so many lies, we have continued to believe it. The British told us the lie that that there are 4 seasons in India, right? Summer, autumn, winter, spring. I had asked this question in the 2nd standard to my teacher, ma'am, monsoon kahan gaya? Okay. India actually has 6 seasons, something so obvious that stares us in the face. Correct. We are still following the British lies. How many of you were all taught in your school that there are 4 seasons? Everyone? It is staring us in the face. Yaar, ma'am, monsoon kahan gaya? Correct. We are still following British lies. it applies to the way we approach mythology as well. So it is not about what they believe, boss. They will continue to believe what they believe because obviously otherwise they will have to acknowledge the crimes that they did out here. Why should they do that? Okay. Who's stopping us from decolonizing our own education system and learning our own truths first? Only when we know our own stuff, okay, can we actually then even debate with outsiders. But if we decolonize our education system, okay, is anyone stopped? When the British were ruling us, I agree we couldn't have done anything. We've been free for 75 years. Who's stopping us now? Will King Charles come and do a dharna at Jantar Mantar if we decolonize our education system? No, na. So who's stopping us? So the first thing that we have to do is improve ourselves before actually talking to foreigners. How many, these 3 million manuscripts, 99.9% of them haven't even been translated. Shame on us. And they're not, vast majority of them are scientific texts, medical, physics, navigation. We were the greatest ancient seafarers. How many of us know that? We were the heart of the global trade in the first millennium. How many of us know that? Because India sits at the top of the only ocean where winds change direction like clockwork. So which is why sea trade was natural in the Indian Ocean. Right? Unlike in the Mediterranean Sea, if you sail from in pre-ship engine times, engines removed the problem of winds. But earlier ships had to sail, right, with winds. If you sailed from Egypt to Crete Island, it would take 2 days. Crete Island back took 2 weeks. Because the winds didn't favor you. You needed slaves to row. Correct? How many of us know this? It's not taught to us. How many of us know that the first leader to ban slavery in the modern era was not Abraham Lincoln? It was Chhatrapati Shivaji. How many of us know this? But if we don't teach it to ourselves, then भाई गैरों को क्या बोलें? जब घर का भेदी ही कर रहा है कुछ काम. तो the fault is ours. First, let's improve ourselves. Let's develop the knowledge ourselves. And we have to start demanding it from our politicians. Decolonize our education system. Teach us about our own history. Teach us about our own knowledge. Teach us about... How many have heard of the Pythagoras theorem? Everyone? How many know the truth that Pythagoras theorem was actually discovered by Bodhayana 200 years prior? How many know this? Honestly, raise your hands. Not everyone, sadly. I did a BSc in mathematics. European mathematicians accept it. That Bodhayana ji discovered, is there in the Shilpa Shastras? Shilpa Sutras. He discovered the Pythagoras theorem 200 years before Pythagoras discovered it. How many of us know it? Sorry? Yeah. We believe Newton discovered it. Boss is there in the Surya Siddhanta. Correct? How many of you believe that the zero meridian is at Greenwich and it was there all time? You know Greenwich? Where was it originally? Who said Ujjain? Applause for whoever said Ujjain. Do you know the zero meridian was actually originally in Ujjain? Everyone gets Kal Nirnay calendar at home? Huh? What is the meridian used to? Because that is the calendar we refer to know where our festivals are, etc. What is the zero meridian that's used out there till today? Ujjain. Right? Why is Ujjain logical for the zero meridian? Because Ujjain is a place where the zero meridian bisected the Tropic of Cancer. So at Dakshinayan, which is the summer solstice, the sun was right overhead. So calculating the time becomes very easy. Calculating the movement of the sun becomes perfect. At Greenwich, the sun is never overhead. It's above Tropic of... It's an illogical place to have zero meridian. How many of us know this? अब हमें ही नहीं मालूम है तो हम विदेशियों को क्या बोलें? So the point is we have to learn our own history. And for that, the education system has to be decolonized. For that, we have to put pressure on our politicians. We're a democracy. We put pressure on our politicians, they will deliver what we want. Decolonize our education system. Teach our own. I'm not anti-West. Good things in the West, learn from it. But we have to learn our own stuff first. Then even things like mythology will not matter. Because you will be able to talk logically to anyone who questions our traditions.
So I think... Correct. I think this is the end of... See, all of you want his sign on the book, yeah. Right? all of you want his
and then I have to
autograph.
travel to Baroda. I'm damn sorry. yaar.
So I think we will put this session at rest here because all of you want his sign on your book. So we will go with that, right? But once again, thank you very much, Amish, for joining us over here and answer our questions wonderfully. A huge round of applause for Amish Tripathi.
Everyone, I request you to be seated. We will go token wise. So we will be going in the batch of 25. So batch number 1 to 25 can form a queue from your left hand side. And thank you for joining us on a Sunday evening. It was very nice to see everyone here.
I will. Wait, please wait.
હેલો અચ્છા કોન્ટેક્ટ નંબર માટે એક બ્લેક ડાયરી આપેલી છે એ કોની પાસે